Welcome to the Post Shift Podcast, your raw look at the hospitality industry, brought to you by SHC. Welcome to another Post Shift Shot, my little Tuesday rant. So, I've talked about staff turnover in the past, but I want to give you 5 actionable things to lower your staff turnover in the hospitality industry. If you run a venue, if you're an owner or a manager, and you have high staff turnover, I feel the definition of high staff turnover for the hospitality industry is just the way it is. I've had managers and owners tell me that, it's just the way it is. People come and then people go. But how can you keep your team as tight as possible for as long as possible? I've been fortunate enough that I've got about an 18% turnover over the last 4 years at Clives, which is really, really low. So what are the 5 actionable things that you can do as an owner or a manager to lower your staff turnover? Because staff turnover costs money. Training, money. All these sort of things cost money in the long run. So let's kick it off. Lack of career growth opportunities. This is one that is sometimes tough for managers and owners to put into action because of that old school mentality of people are going to come and go. It's the way it is. But offer them training, like proper certification courses like the Edinburgh Whisky Academy certifications or WSET, especially in the cocktail realm. In the food realm, of course, you've got your Red Seal chefs and those sort of things. And in the wine realm, you've got the Scholar program where you can do French wine scholar, Italian wine scholar. If you've got staff that have been on board with you for 6-12 months, these are things you should be investing in. That obviously they're not very expensive and they really make a big difference. Mentorship and leadership opportunities to help the staff grow within your company. Sometimes it's not the easiest thing. Sometimes the people that don't really want the growth don't necessarily connect with management, but they do want to see themselves grow as a career path inside the company. Burnout due to long hours and high pressure. This is a given for the hospitality industry. It's one that ownership and management really need to continually touch base on with the team, because sometimes we get just caught up in everything, and this sort of does lead to the high tension, burnout, long hours. I like to work a 4-day week with most of my team, basically so that they know that they can come in, they'll do a 4-day week and they get 3 days off. It's a nice little recovery period. I find working 5 days a week and 5, 10, 12-hour shifts can be really tough on staff long term. Inadequate compensation and benefits. Always be mindful about what's going on in the market, dollar and cents wise, like how much is everybody getting paid for in the market as a bartender and as a server. Just don't go minimum wage. This tends to keep your staff really engaged, especially if there's goals. So it ties back to your training. You do XYZ training and you get XYZ bump in pay. More qualified staff, more money. Definitely something that's positive. Benefits are another one. I think there's a stigma around benefits that they're really, really expensive. And so that's not necessarily true. Benefits can be very, very affordable when it comes to staff retention. Poor communication and lack of recognition. This is one that I am sometimes horrible for too. You get caught up in the business of the business, and sometimes you forget just to say, hey team, thanks a lot. Really appreciate you for doing this big weekend we just had. It's just a little message to the group. It's something that means a lot, and something that I sometimes fall down on because of that. So yeah, poor communication, lack of recognition. Give your team a props, like make sure you remember their birthdays, those sort of things. Toxic workplace environment. This is something that's still very, very big in the hospitality industry, especially back of house versus front of house. If you have toxic people in your organization, nip it in the bud as quickly as possible and move through it. A lot more team building activities, going out together, addressing the conflicts immediately, like, as I said, nip it in the bud, and establishing clear codes of conduct, which a lot of independent restaurants and bars don't actually have clear codes of conduct that promote respect among staff. So it's one of those things that you really need to hone in on, especially if you use ChatGPT. It's you can be your best friend, can literally write you a code of conduct in 15 seconds. So do those sort of things. So those are the 5 massive actionable things to slow down your turnover. If you're having a high turnover venue, you can hit me up, ask a couple more questions, and I can go a little bit more in depth with it if that's the case. But yeah, they're the 5 key things that I would suggest to work on when it comes to if you've got a venue that's high turnover. So that's the Post Shift Shot. Thanks as always for listening. See you soon. Bye. Thanks for listening, Post Shifters. I hope you enjoyed that episode. I really enjoy sitting down with friends and peers and just chatting about the industry and getting down to the nuts and bolts of what's really going on out there. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, everything on all the platforms. Just hit it up and I'll do my best to answer any queries or questions you have. I'll see you next week, guys. Bye.